process of riding in the hills is all about creation. You envision it, you build it with your homies, you session it, and it's all in a day's work. This is where film projects and content creation really started for me. I found my niche in the hills and it came natural to me, and Twitch ultimately led the way for all of us.
As soon as Bereman started hanging out with us and riding the hills, I would always be like, you're a free rider. Because he was like trying to race supercross and like outdoors and then still wanted to come ride ramps, but I'm like, you're a free rider. And look at him now. He's like one of the top free riders in the world. And that's what's cool, coming from a moto background and actually knowing how to like have bike skills and race supercross and know your motorcycle, and then you do that in the hills, it's endless. Like once you have skills riding a dirt bike, you go to the hills, it's easy. It's just fun.
Freeriding for me really started at Clear Creek, but ultimately blossomed in the hills of Southern California. We wait all summer for the rain, just like surfers will wait all year chasing that swell, or snowboarders will wait all year chasing the powder.
And I feel like with moto, it's something cool too. Like every time we go out there to go build something new, film it, kill it, put a gravestone on it and move on, like go to the next one.
We've spent many, many man hours of building jumps and shoveling and digging and prep and waiting for the elements to be right to go enjoy the session with our homies. The story of freeriding pretty much started with my heroes, guys like Jeff Emig and Jeremy McGrath, when they would go and ride in the hills on their downtime and enjoy it, you know, and that's ultimately where FMX began and started. At that point, it kind of drifted between one or the other. It was only racing or freestyle, and I think freeriding kind of was forgotten about a bit and kind of in the shadows.
I looked at it like when social media came out, I'm like, here's my outlet. Like, I was always into like backcountry snowboard, street skaters, BMX dudes that are just in the hills, like in the trails, building stuff in the trees. And I always looked at moto, I'm like, why has no one like tried to go do like that in moto? Like, I want to do video parts. Like I see some of the baddest dudes in the world, they don't even ride a contest. They're either a street skater or a BMX dude or a backcountry snowboard guy. And that's just what they've done since day one. In moto, everyone's always just stuck to the one thing, like, oh, my sponsor wants me to do this, my sponsor wants me to do that. And I just got over all the bullshit. I'm like, I'm gonna go make video parts. And I literally called all my sponsors one year. I go, hey, I'm done riding freestyle contests. I'm gonna hire my own filmer, I'm gonna invest in myself, and I'm gonna go make video parts. If you wanna be a part of it, cool. And if you don't, I get it. It's all good. You guys never done it. And every single sponsor I called, like, we're on board.
I was very fortunate at the time that Twitch was doing this and showing us the way that social media became a huge presence in our everyday life. As my skills were growing, social media was growing, and I found the potential to do this on my own. And to me, you're not gonna remember who won Supercross at Daytona 2 years ago, but if you're creating the content lives forever, and that's ultimately why we're doing what we do. We're creating something that's timeless.
The audience is in tune, like people want to see it, you know, there's like millions of people across the globe that are just rubbing their hands, can't wait to see the next thing drops. I think like the current state of the sport, you know, the way it's like moving into this free riding thing, I think it's perfect, and I think it's good timing because there was a time there where they wanted to get everyone out of the hills and put them in arenas, because I think that commercially made sense from a promoter's perspective.
Ultimately, it's just gonna take people like myself to keep pushing it in the right direction and showing these kids coming up that it's not all about race results and wins and all of that. It's about creating content as well and enjoying what you're doing.
I think it just opens the doorways for the creativity to shine again. I'd like to think that, you know, the sport's not dead, it's a transition period, but it's going to take guys like Tyler and the guys at the top of the sport now to kind of, you know, put a fresh spin on it.
If you look at Tyler or Axel right now, they don't have to go ride a contest if they don't want to. They make content, badass content, all day long.
Down the line, I think kids and parents and everyone involved, this is a huge piece of what we're doing and why we're doing it, is because we want to push this sport in the direction of other action sports and being able to make a living.
Everyone always thinks it's like, oh, you guys get to live the best life. It's like, no, we still work our asses off too. Like, I have a family to feed, he has bills, you know what I mean? So we work our butts off.
There's so many things that go into it between traveling, logistics, bike setup, production. It's not like we just go out there and take an iPhone clip and it's one and done. We risk our lives for this content that we're putting out, and you know, it might seem all fun and games, but at the end of the day, we're taking this seriously, and this is my job, and it's something that you have to take seriously and respect it, because it'll reach up and grab you that quick. When it comes down to the risk versus reward, yeah, we risk our lives, but the reward is exponential. Like, you can't put these feelings into words, and that's why I do what I do, for those feelings. It makes me feel alive.